How's it going, guys? Welcome to another Apathetic fish tutorial. This time I'm going to paint this red Corsair for a Chaos Space Marine army. This is the end result that you're going to get if you follow this tutorial. I hope you like it. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and we shall start. Now, as always, I'm going to start with a primed gray miniature, and I'm going to start painting on selected parts of the miniature Mephiston red base coat. The good thing of painting the red Corsairs is that you can select alternate parts to paint black and red, and you can customize your miniatures to look each one unique. It's only important that you select different colors for parts that are adjacent to each other. And in this case, I chose to use a red helmet, so the chest plate is going to be black and the codpiece is going to be red, and so forth. I'm going to be alternating the colors that are adjacent to each other. The only thing that I did differently are the shoulder pads. In this case, one is black with the red edges and the other is red with black edges. You can choose either color that you want and just play with it. That way you will have very customized unique miniatures on your army. Now that all of the red color is done, I'm going to use Vallejo model color black, and I'm going to base coat all of the areas that I want to be black. This is a very simple step. Just water down the paint a little bit, remember, and in the red too, and start painting all of the black areas. Careful not to paint over the parts that are supposed to be red. Now, the reason I choose Vallejo instead of Games Workshop is because this paint, the Vallejo model color black, has a very matte finish, different from the Abbadon black, which has a really like satin or even glossy finish. So you can use whatever color you like the most. I like this one better. I'm going to use this step to paint all of the parts that I want to be metal as well. So don't be afraid to paint almost on all of the other areas that are left over from the red. That's fine. Now, this is how the miniature looks after the black base coat. And now I'm going to use a Baal red wash. You can also use the Carroburg Crimson from the new range. I haven't bought those washes, that's why I don't use them, but they're pretty much the same thing. And this, I'm going to use it to wash all of the red areas. This is a very simple step. It doesn't matter if the wash goes into the black, as long as it's not too heavy. It's not going to show anyways. So just wash the red areas and try to settle the wash on the crevices and cracks and little holes. And just cover every red part as you can. Once that's dry, I'm going to start highlighting the red with a mix of 1:1 with Mephiston red and Evil Sunz Scarlet. This paint is thinned down with a mix of water and glaze medium to make a transition in between the colors. So the ratio might be as like one paint, one glaze medium, and one water. This is a little bit too thin, so you might want to use a little bit more paint, but it works well with transitions. You won't have too much trouble getting a good blend with this consistency. But for it to show well, you will need at least 2 coats. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm just selecting the parts that are most exposed to light and just painting the upper parts. It may not be too obvious when you see this video. It may not show very well the highlighted parts, but if they don't, trust me, when you start painting you will see them clearly. For some reason the red's not picking very well on this camera. Now that that's done, I'm going to start edge highlighting with Wild Rider Red. On this step, just thin down the paint a little bit with whatever you want. I used glaze medium, but just a little bit to give it the paint a little bit of flow. And just start edge highlighting all of the edges that you can find. For the insides of the shoulder pads and stuff and parts like that, draw a thin line over the edge of the red area, as I'm doing here. Now you don't have to be terribly exact when you're trying to paint this this step. When you are painting on the edges of places without borders, you can just give yourself a little like a margin between the red and the corner. The Wild Rider Red doesn't have to be exactly on the very edge of the red parts. Now with Eshin Gray, I'm gonna do the same thing, but for the black parts. Now this paint again is thinned down with a little bit of glaze medium, but just a little bit, remember. And I'm edge highlighting all of the black areas. Now that that's done, I'm going to give it a final edge highlight with Dawnstone, and this I'm going to use it on the parts that are black, on the same parts, but try to pick the most sharp edges and the corners on the insides of the shoulder pads, for example. Just pick whatever edge highlight you would like to make pop a little bit, and just edge highlight again. Now that is all that I'm going to show you on this part of the tutorial. Please follow the link to the second part or search it on my channel. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.